It's GameSoup. Today we're looking at Magic the Gathering AI-generated cards. My name's Ed.
My name's Joe. And this time we auto-generated a bunch of cards at once, downloaded them all. We haven't looked at them yet, but that'll save us some time from having to watch the spells be forged in real time. And we realized that in the previous episode when we were forging spells that you actually have to click stop or it's going to keep randomizing the spells almost infinitely. Mm-hmm. And so the cards kept flipping over and sometimes we would lose a card as we were reading it. So we figured out how to get around that. And also, this is going to be faster. So we're going to do it this way this time.
So let's get right to it, shall we?
Yeah.
We've got a Spellstone Spirit. Okay, it costs 3 and a blue. It's a creature. It's a dragon, of course. As a 3/3. It's a flying. As Spellstone Spirit enters the battlefield, exile target artifact card with flying. Okay, cycling 2. And 2, discard this card. Draw a card.
Yep.
So a little bit of an interesting effect there at the end. I still don't really understand what this card is for.
So, well, it's a 3/3 flying for 4, which is fine. And as it enters the battlefield, you get to exile an artifact card that has flying. That would probably be an artifact creature. Mm-hmm. As long as it has flying, you can exile it. You would want to be careful not to play any artifact creatures that have flying in your own deck. But this might have a target. So this could get you a 2-for-1 against the right deck. And also, if you don't need it, you can just cycle it for 2 mana. It's pretty fine.
Yeah, I'm going to say fine, I guess. I don't know if I can give it a letter grade or not.
Let's not.
Let's not. Let's go on, shall we? Affinity Scour for 2 and a blue. It's an instant. As an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card. Target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life.
Uh-huh.
But what does the spell do? Target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life?
That's absolutely terrible. It costs you 3 mana and 2 cards in order to give a 4-point life swing. Not useful at all.
No.
Absolutely awful.
I'm going to say no on that one. Goron Mail.
There we go.
Okay, here we go. It costs 1 and 2 blue. It's an enchantment. You may have Goron Mail as an opponent's heave of goods. And has cycling for 2.
Well, at least you can discard it to get a new card.
Yeah, you can just yeah.
Because the first ability does nothing. But it is a Goron Mail, so you could just put it down for style points.
I do quite like this. I wonder if these are going to be a little more tame.
We did have the creativity still turned up pretty high. Oh, here we go. Fat
Monster. Costs 1 blue. That's great. It's an instant. Massacre. Whenever a creature dies, if you attacked this turn, each opponent sacrifices a monster.
Whenever a creature dies, if you attacked this turn, each opponent sacrifices. So they would have to have a creature type monster in play, which I think there's like 2 or 3 of in the entire game. So it could do something, but probably not.
Probably not.
So yeah, this is probably not going to be playable.
I do like the flavor text that says, "Death makes life comfortable."
Well, I guess life is more comfortable than death, depending on how you look at things. Maybe that's not the case. We better go to the next one.
Oh, God. Landfills. Are we all familiar with these? Cost a blue. Tribal sorcery. It's a land, of course.
Okay.
It has Defender, Vigilance, Trample, and Discharge. With no attack. So it can't actually attack anything.
It's not a creature, so it has creature abilities, but doesn't do anything. I don't think Discharge is actually an ability in the game. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't think Discharge is an ability.
So it's a Defender. And it has Trample.
Regardless, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do a damn thing. So, it's a sorcery. You just pay a blue mana, put it in your graveyard, move on.
Looks cool. I see a few French fries in the landfill over there somewhere. So, interesting card. Okay. Ares Guardian. Costs 1 and 2 blue. It's a creature, a beast. 2/2. Protection from black. Cycling for 2. Discard this card, draw a card. We're seeing a theme here. Discard this card, draw a card.
It's a lot of cycling. We're seeing a lot of cycling today.
Protection from black. I mean, that's also very niche. So I don't know really about.
Yeah, it's not a good card. No. It's not great. It costs too much mana. It's okay and limited maybe, but not a very good card.
Fount of Beasts costs 3 and 2 blue. It's a 3/4. It's a creature. It's a Sphinx. When Fount of Beasts enters the battlefield, if you control 2 or more creatures, fathom the city.
Well, fathom. Yeah. Well, fathom it.
I mean, fathoming that's no small feat. So I can only imagine what it entails. It's a 3/4.
But the effect that it would have in the game would be nothing. So it's a 5 mana 3/4. Terrible.
Okay. Zerkog Dragonborn. It costs 1 blue. It's a 2/1 with Trample. And for 1 colorless and 1 black, you can give it +2/+2 until end of turn. It doesn't seem great though. It only has 1 health.
It's only 1 blue though. Yeah. Especially in blue, you don't see anything. You don't see anything with 2 power for 1 blue mana. So this is going to be pretty strong probably in a blue-black deck. You've got the option to pump it as well. I don't know if this probably wouldn't see play in any old formats, probably not even modern, but in limited, this would be like a first pick. This would be a really good card for a blue-black aggro deck, which is not usually aggro colors, but you try to make it work for this guy.
Yeah. Ravenkin Cruiser. Cost 1 and 2 blue. It's a 2/1 zombie minotaur. A zombie minotaur. When Ravenkin Cruiser enters the battlefield, create a treasure token for each other card in your hand.
Whoa.
A treasure token. Now,
a treasure token is an artifact that has the ability tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana.
Okay. So as soon as you play this card, you just have a bunch of treasure tokens at your disposal.
You get a fuck ton of mana. If you build your deck to take advantage of this card,
Yeah.
this is completely broken. I mean, you're going to get more mana than you spent to play this thing. This is going to ramp you up real fast.
For sure.
Broken.
And it only costs 3. Yeah, I quite like it.
Broken.
Turonk. Costs 3 and a blue. It's a 2/2 Troll Scout. Whenever Turonk becomes blocked, if it's the attacking or defending player's... So really, if it's anybody's turn.
Anybody's turn, yeah.
It gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So if it gets blocked, get +2/+2. Pretty straightforward, I think, right?
Yeah. But it's only a 2/2 for 4.
Yeah, so I'm going to say with the cost, it turns out to be not good.
Yeah, it's not good at all.
No. Centurion. Cost 1 and a blue. Instant. If you would draw 2 cards this turn, draw 2 cards instead. So again, no effect on gameplay, but very stylish. I like the synthwave aesthetic there with the card as well. What do we got next? Portec Constructor. Okay, we've got looks like a man, like a carpenter of some sort. Costs 2 and a blue. It's a Drake, not a man. It's a 2/1 Drake. Portec Constructor for 2 colorless and a blue. Gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Activate only if you control a Scorcher or a Mammoth. That's a very specific set of conditions for this card.
Yeah, for not a very good ability.
Right. So I think this is going to be a trash card, probably.
Yeah, there are mammoths in the game. I don't know if there are Scorchers. You could leave it in the comments if you know of any Scorchers in the game. All right, this is just 3 mana for a 3/1 with hideous artwork.
Yeah, really. Adorned tag. Okay. Let's see. Serpentate, right? Creatures you control have indestructible and gain indestructible as they travel to their end. Okay.
I guess we all are doing that.
Yeah. Okay, so for 2 and a blue, it's a 2/2. Okay. Creatures you control have indestructible and gain indestructible so they can't be killed, right?
Yeah, indestructible is an ability in the game that says this creature does not die from from damage essentially or destruction effects, which for the most part makes it really fucking hard to kill. There are ways to kill indestructible, but for the most part, when an indestructible creature's on the board, it's going to stick for a while.
I'm liking the I don't know, whatever the intent is behind this card. I like it.
When it shatters, let's see. When it shatters, shards from the surface all have the same origin and use the same geometry. The final answers reveal its reasoning.
Very cryptic.
It's actually a pretty solid card, though. All your creatures have indestructible.
Yeah, that does seem OP. Okay, Shadow Stormguard. Costs 1 blue. It's a 1/1 Goblin Warrior. And for 1 more blue, target creature you control gets -2, -0 until end of turn. So if you can think of a possible scenario where you'd want to debuff your own guy, you could do it.
There are scenarios, but they don't come up very often. So pretty awful card.
Yeah, pretty awful card. Tree Locks, Knife Locks. Costs 1 blue. It's a lake monster. Whenever you control 2 or more creature cards, draw 2 cards. Whenever you control 2 or more creature cards, draw 2 cards.
Do you know what this card does, Ed?
No, tell me.
If you control 2 or more creature cards when you cast this 1 blue mana sorcery, you lose the game.
What?
Because whenever you control 2 or more creature cards, you draw 2 cards. So this is going to just trigger over and over again until you draw all the cards in your deck. And when you draw all the cards out of your deck, you die. You lose the game.
Great. So you're sort of milling yourself, I guess, here. Tree Locks, Knife Locks. All right. Again, not a great card, but interesting concept. Okay. Cobbler Axeman. It's a 2, or for 2 and a blue, it's a 2/2 dinosaur. It's an Axeman that is also a dinosaur. When Cobbler Axeman dies, create a treasure token. It's an artifact with tap, sacrifice this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color.
There you go. I wish that reminder text was on the previous card that had treasure token, so I didn't have to explain it.
And you can tap it to return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Hey, man, Cobbler Axeman knows what's up. Seems very good.
Yeah, it's real strong.
It's an artifact. Let's sacrifice this artifact. Okay, so you can get rid of him?
Yeah, I mean, really, the second ability, being able to return a creature card from your graveyard directly to the battlefield.
For free.
Yeah, if you have any kind of reanimate, if you're doing any kind of a reanimate deck, you're taking extra advantage of this. But even without that, if you just have creatures in your deck, this guy's just going to bring them back after they die. Like, this is pretty unstoppable.
This image art kind of reminds me of, the old style of Japanese, drawings that are sort of like almost cartoonish. There's that really famous drawing of waves. It's one of the most famous drawings in the world.
Yeah.
This is kind of giving me vibes of that. This looks like a very like sort of almost medieval Japan or like.
Yeah, I've been noticing that a lot of the artwork seems to have something of a Japanese influence to it. I wonder if it got a bunch of Japanese artwork jammed into the AI that generates the images, and that it's starting to draw from that, because I don't remember seeing things that reminded me of classical Japanese illustration like that. Hokusai is the guy that made the wave.
Right.
I think it's Kanagawa Wave or something is the name of the.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the name.
The artwork.
Here we go. Preserving evidence. Okay.
This is another one. Look at the artwork. It's like
really
another.
is.
Yeah, it's somewhat Japanese style, like a classic Japanese style.
All right, well, for 1 and 2 red, you can play this enchantment. Blue can be paid with either red or white.
Okay, so it's any color you want, really.
Sure, yeah. I mean, as long as preserving evidence is on the battlefield, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. When preserving evidence is turned face up, exile it at random. I would choose not to exile it, although it's random.
Well, there's not really any way to turn this card face up, because there's no way to play it face down.
Right.
So,
but as long as it's on the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Doesn't that mean... Is that just like the card where it just happens until
I think
you
so.
die?
I think it would just trigger
You just win the game.
repeatedly again and again.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you can pay 3 mana, you can win the game.
Perfect.
So essentially, you're just playing vintage
At
that point.
I see.
That's a joke.
Ignorance. I like these names. For 3 and 2 blue, it's an instant. As an additional cost to cast the spell, you may discard a card. If you do, cast the spell and add blue for each card discarded this way. What does it do? It doesn't do anything.
Well, you can discard 1 card to it. As an additional cost, you may discard a card. So you're not allowed to discard as many cards as you want. You can only discard 1. And if you do, you get to add a blue mana for each card discarded this way. So you're only down 4 mana if you play this card, and 2 cards.
Oh, okay.
It hurts you.
It's called ignorance. I guess that makes sense.
It's a handicap.
Yeah.
It's a handicap card.
Not great. Part of you. For 1 and a blue, it's an instant. Counter target creature you control. You're countering your own creature. Tap X. That just means tap as many cards as you want, right? In this case. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains lifelink until end of turn. Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Okay, you do need to have a target, though.
Right.
So I'm going to assume this means counter target creature spell you control. So you do have to counter your own creature spell. Then you can tap X, which doesn't really do anything. And then you do get to give a creature +1/+1 and lifelink until end of turn, though.
Tap X. That doesn't mean anything.
No,
It doesn't mean anything.
I really don't think it does. I would assume it means tap X mana, but then it would say pay any amount of mana. I really don't know what to say about this one, except that some professors like to slap down messages at their patients to break the shackles of dependence.
Many are known to... can I just say, I love the artwork on this card. It's very 80s, very synth-wavy.
It's been giving us a lot of cyberpunk style artwork and old Japanese style artwork.
This is art I would not be...
drawing from.
Yeah, I would have this on my wall. I would.
Let's do one more.
Yeah. Sealer Reef. Oh my, look at that reef. It's a lake of plenty. Costs 1 blue. When Sealer Reef enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life.
Well, it is a sorcery, so it will never be entering the battlefield. So this essentially just goes to the graveyard.
Perfect.
Once again.
Excellent.
Your words shape their intent. Cairo, the divine elder. Well,
Sealer Reef. Not the greatest card, but I've seen worse.
Really makes you think.
Yeah?
My words shape their intent. Cairo, I really think you were onto something, buddy. We're not going to discuss what that was.
We'll leave it to you to figure out.
We like you.